As far as ball games in early April go, does that feel a little different, a little more exciting?
That was a good one. I mean, it's always good when you come out on top. I mean, the game was played really well. I mean, we said, knowing that the Dodgers coming to town, you gotta, like I said, you gotta play crisp baseball. And we played really good. It started with MacKenzie Gore. I mean, he was really good. I mean, he went out for that sixth inning and threw the ball really well.
I know you usually aren't going to ask for 5 outs on the third day in a row.
No,
what made you want to go to Finnegan there?
We had a chance to win the game, right? I mean, and he went through that inning and had 12 pitches. He came back out. When he came back in the dugout, he looked at me and he goes, "I can get you 3 outs." So he's the reason why he's here. I mean, he closes games for us. So he did that today. He did it really well.
What have you gotten to know about Kyle that you have the trust in him when he says, "I can get you 3 outs after that"?
I've had him since he first got here, right? I mean, I put him in situations right from the start, and he just takes the ball, and he goes, and he understands what he needs to do. So he goes out there and attacks and just does everything he can to try to get 3 outs. I mean, that's who he is. I mean, he has that mentality, that don't matter, if it's the 8th inning, 9th inning, he's just trying to get outs.
Davey, can you go through that at bat against Ohtani, where he was able to find a way, even though it ended up in a walk, he was able to really battle with it when he got behind in that count?
Yeah, no, he was, like I said, he just understands, really understands what he wants to do up there. He's not going to give in. He's learned that, So, in order for us to win games like that, the big players are going to step up. And he's a big player for us.
How important were those insurance runs, and especially James's home?
Big. I mean, you see their lineup, man. Those guys could come back, fairly quickly. We need to tack out some runs. James, stayed on the ball, smoked it to center field. But big insurance runs. K-Bear comes up with a big hit there, tack on another run. So big runs for us there late. And then, like I said, we closed out the game. Salazar threw the ball really well. So it was a really good all-around play. We went out. I thought we did a better job of not chasing early, seeing the ball in the zone. We ran the bases, we stole some bases, but we played really good baseball.
When Finnegan is on, like he was tonight, what are you seeing that you're like, okay, I think this can actually work tonight?
Right. No, like I said, there's never a day where I don't think he's off. I mean, there's days, as we all know, that doesn't go the way you want. But when he comes in the game, he's coming in to close out that game. I mean, that's his mentality. So today was no. I mean, he was exceptional because he just said, "Hey, I know what I need to do. I'm going to go out there and try to get the job done." And like I said, he was fired up after coming out of the 8th. He came in the 9th, and he wanted to go back out.
I know you've talked a lot about James's steady heartbeat, but is there something else about his approach that allows him to do damage in those big moments?
Yeah, he's just, the biggest thing for him, he understands who he is. He wants, in situations like that, he's really patient. He's trying to get a good pitch to hit. He gets the ball. When he gets the ball up, he's dangerous, and he stays on the ball really well. As you can see, a lot of his homers are either center field, left center field, because he stays on the ball really, really well. So if you could do that, especially against a left-handed pitcher, and the power that he's got a chance to do damage. So today again, he did that really well. He got ready early and put a really good swing on a pitch that was up in the zone, and like I said, he drove it to center field.
What did you think of DeYoung's defense?
He's good. Yeah, I mean, I've seen him play for many years. He's really good. I mean, he's a professional. He really is. I mean, he made an unbelievable play, but we talked about it all the time about how he understands how to play the game, and he makes things over there look fairly easy. He really does.
You mentioned MacKenzie's 6 innings. Is he the type you think that understood what the situation was going into tonight and kind of takes responsibility to say, I've got to do something for my team here to be efficient enough to go deeper into the game?
Yeah, he knew coming in the game what we were up against. After the 5th inning, he came in to me right away and says, "Hey, I got you. I can get to the 6th inning. So when you get one of your top starters to come out and say, hey, you give him the ball and see how far he can take you. And obviously we're watching his pitches. And right about the 100 pitch mark, that was going to be good enough for him, and he finished right at 100 pitches.
You've talked about his maturity this season. Is there something you saw tonight that particularly speaks to that?
But I mean, like I said, he gave up the 2-run homer, and right away, when I see him, I think, okay, let's see what happens here, and he settled down. Threw a few balls there, but after that, he settled down, got right back in the moment, and got out of it. And then after that, he's really settled down. He came back and scored, and then I think that helped him. That we came back and scored a run, and then he went out there and did his job.
James Wood in the leadoff spot. You talked about when CJ was moved in the leadoff spot. You had a conversation with him. Did you have a conversation with James about that today? And is that something we can see more?
Yeah, I just told him, I just don't try to do anything different. Just be you. Like I said, he's fairly patient up there. So I really gets me. I wanted to get him up there hopefully more times than not. And he did get up there a few times against him. And then he comes up there and hits a home run against the lefty. So, but that's just he can hit. He can hit whether it's right-handed, left-handed. He can hit.
What did you think of Louis' defense in the 9th inning, in particular, in a high-pressure situation?
Good. I mean, he like I said before in spring training, he's different. He's matured a lot. He understands. He's played well. And the biggest part of it is being engaged every pitch. And he's really doing a lot better with that.
Tomorrow's starter will be
Lord.
And how much can you expect from him? Pitches-wise?
We're going to go one inning at a time. Yeah. I mean, I think we can get him up to 45, 50 pitches. Who knows, maybe more with him, because he's a kid. He's a go-getter. He just wants to go. So we'll see how he does.